29th aphorism. In 26th aphorism, we just see the homoeopathic law of nature or nature's law of cure. Okay? But in 29th, Hahnemann just explained the modus operandi or modus operation of homoeopathic cure. How the homoeopathic cure takes place. Because in 28th last line, Hahnemann put like that one. Okay? Because homeopathy mainly based upon the inductive logic, that is derived from experience. So 29th, as every disease within bracket not entirely surgical consists only in a special morbid dynamic alteration of our vital energy within bracket of the principles of life. Yes, the vital energy is affected by the diseased force manifested in sensations and motions. Okay, so when the vital energy is affected, the vital force produces the symptoms. So in every homeopathic cure, this principle of life dynamically altered by natural disease is seized. Okay, so in homeopathic cure what happened? No, after prescription of the medicine, that natural disease which acts upon the vital force is seized. What is the meaning of seized? It is stopped through the administration of a medicinal potency. How it is stopped? By the administration of the medicinal potency. Selected easily, selected exactly according to symptom-similarity by a somewhat stronger, similar, artificial disease manifestation. Okay? So how you select the medicine? This medicine based upon the symptom-similarity, because this medicine is stronger one. As per 26th aphorism, it must be a stronger as well as a similar. So stronger, similar, artificial disease manifestations. By this, the feeling of the natural dynamic disease manifestation ceases and disappears. Okay? So by the administration of the medicine, the stronger and the similar, it just make the ceases and disappears of the diseased force, which only is the weaker and dissimilar. This disease manifestation no longer exists for the principle of life, which is now occupied and governed merely by the stronger artificial disease manifestation. So now what happened? No, when the medicinal force acts upon the vital force which is already occupied with the diseased force, the stronger medicinal force remove the weaker disease force. Okay, weaker diseased force. So now the diseased force is removed by the stronger medicinal force. So now the temporarily the vital force is governed by the stronger artificial disease manifestations. Clear? This artificial disease manifestation has soon spent its force and leaves the patient free from disease, cured. Okay, sometimes because we administer the medicine in the very minute dose. Okay, so this medicinal force is also leave from the patient and leave free from the patient from the vital force. Sorry, it affects the vital force. No, now the medicinal force is also gone. Now the vital force is freed. The dynamist, thus freed, can now continue to carry life on health. Okay, now the health is restored. This most highly probable process rests upon the following proportions. Okay, this is the mostly highly probable process. Okay, so this 29th aphorism is a very important aphorism in case of homeopathy, particularly in the examination purpose also, modus operandi of homeopathic cure. So first the health is there. Now there is a vital force, a normal condition. Now the diseased force affects the vital force. Now the vital force is affected. After the affection of the vital force, it produces symptoms. Okay, then the physician collect the symptoms and prescribe the medicine. What is the character of the medicine means? It is the stronger as well as the similar and also in minute dose. Okay, so after prescription of the medicine, what happened? No, due to the stronger and similar character, this medicinal force remove the weaker and similar diseased force. Okay, yes. Now what happened? After the removal of the diseased force, this medicinal force, this artificial medicinal force, temporarily occupied in the vital force. or above the vital force. So this condition, if it lasts, it may be called as homeopathic aggravation. You already know about the homeopathic aggravation. It is the intensification of the original existing symptoms. Okay? So, in this condition, what happened now? Due to the prescription of the medicine, the minute dose, the medicine is also leaves its force and leaves the vital force free. So now the vital force is free from diseased force as well as the medicinal force and set free. So the restoration of the health takes place by the vital force. Okay? Clear? 30th aphorism, 30. The human body appears to admit of being much more powerfully affected in its health by medicines. Okay, human body, when you compare with the diseased force and medicinal force, this human body mostly affected by the medicinal force. Why? Within bracket, Hahnemann mentioned that partly because we have the regulation of the dose in our own power. Yeah, the regulation of the dose is in our power. So when the person is not respond to a particular potency, we just increase the potency and admit the medicine to the person. Definitely that person is affected. Okay, so than by natural morbid stimuli. So the medicines are more powerful. So mostly it affects the individual when compared with the natural morbid stimuli. For natural diseases are cured and overcome by suitable medicines. In this aphorism, Hahnemann clearly stated that our medicinal power is stronger than the diseased force. Clear? 31 aphorism, 3-1. Okay? The inimical forces. What is the meaning of inimical? It is a not friendly, otherwise we can say enemy. Okay? The inimical forces, partly psychical, partly physical. Partly psychical means partly it is related with the minds. Okay? For example, if the person getting the anger, emotion, or very much stress, worried, anything else, definitely it is also an inimical force. Then partly physical, you already know about physical, because what we see in that, other than the mental condition, all the causes are comes under the physical, to which our terrestrial existence is exposed. Yeah, we are here on the environment, the terrestrial existence is exposed, which are termed morbific noxious agents. Yes, what is the meaning of the morbific noxious agents? Means it is nothing but an inimical forces, partly psychical and partly physical, is called as morbific noxious agents. What is the meaning of morbific? It is able to cause disease. Okay, morbific means it is able to cause disease. What is the meaning of noxious? It is injurious to physical or mental health. Super. So only that both physical and psychical combinedly called as morbific noxious agents. Okay, so in homeopathy, the morbific noxious agents are nothing but miasms. We can also say like that. Okay. So these morbific noxious agents do not possess the power of morbidly deranging the health of man unconditionally. Okay. What is the meaning of the unconditionally? Not subject to condition. So it is not possible to affect the disease condition by unconditionally. Some condition must be needed. Okay. But we are made ill by them only when our organism is sufficiently disposed and susceptible to the attack of the morbific cause that may be present. Yes, this morbific noxious agents which affects the individual derange the health of man, but it is only a conditionally. It is not the unconditionally. What condition? That organism must be disposed and susceptible to the attack of the morbific cause. Because susceptibility must be needed. For example, if the 10 people are there, when they are exposed to drenching in rain, only 2 persons are getting affected. Other persons are not affected. Why? That 2 persons are only susceptible disease condition. So you just prescribe the Rustax. But when you prescribe the Rustax, definitely it produces symptoms to all the individuals. Okay, because the medicines are acts conditionally. We will discuss in later. Okay. and susceptible to the attack of morbid cause that may be present and to be altered in health, deranged and made to undergo abnormal sensations and functions. So when the person becomes susceptible, when the organism becomes susceptible to the disease condition, then only the alteration, the sensations and the functions are takes place. Hence, they do not produce disease in everyone nor at all times. So the disease condition not produced in all the persons or everyone and also in all the times. So when you come to 31 aphorism, it is a morphic noxious agents. Sometimes they ask in short notes, what is the morphic noxious agents? Short notes as well as in oral. Okay, so it is clearly explained in 31 aphorism. What are the morphic noxious agents? They are the disease conditions, the diseased force, partly physical and partly psychical, which affect the organism. Yes. Then what is the character of the disease condition? It is not the unconditional one. If the person become affected with the natural diseased force, that person become the susceptible to that one. Clear? 32 aphorism. 3.2. But it is quite otherwise with the artificial morphic agents, which we term medicines. Because in 31, Hahnemann explained about the character of the disease condition, which acts conditionally. But here, medicine, okay, every real medicine, namely, acts at all times. That medicine in all the times, okay. There is no specific time for the medicine to act. For example, when the disease condition is specific, time must be there. The time means it is not only the watch, that the clock it shows. It is a time. It include all. So, when the medicine acts means it acts all times. Under all circumstances. Okay, there is a condition on that accompanying or influence some event or activity. All circumstances. Okay, all situations, we can say all the situations the medicines are acted. Okay, for example, when you put a person in a sterile area and when you leave that bacteria and virus on that place, that person won't be affected because this sterile area. So when you say the sterile area, that virus and bacteria is not able to live on that place, but at the same time, in the sterile area, when you prescribe any medicine, that medicine produces symptoms. Okay, so only here, that medicine acts under all circumstances. On every living human being, so only Hahnemann put that every in the italic letter, every living human being, and produces in him its peculiar symptoms. Definitely, when you administer the medicine, that medicine produces the peculiar symptoms within bracket, distinctly perceptible. If the dose be large enough, so that medicine produces peculiar symptoms. How you know? If the dose be the large enough, definitely that symptoms are visible. So that evidently every living human organism is liable to be affected. So it is evidence that is clearly shows that every living human organism is liable to be affected. Each and every person is affected, and as it were, inoculated with the medicinal disease at all times. So only that person is suffering from that medicinal disease at all times, and absolutely, within bracket, unconditionally, absolutely, surely, which, as before said, is by no means the case with the natural disease. Yes, when you say that natural disease, it is only conditionally. So medicine means it acts all times and all the circumstances and all the individuals. Okay, so this is the main comparison between the medicinal disease and natural disease. Clear? 33 aphorism. There is 3 thread. In accordance with this fact, what fact? The medicines are more powerful than the diseased force. It is undeniably shown by all experience. What is the experience? Because in footnote Hahnemann has given how the medicines are superior than natural disease. With the example, in 1801, in one time, that smooth scarlatina of Sydenham. What is a scarlatina means? It is a high fever with red color rashes. Okay, now at the time that condition was prevailed. Okay, mostly it affects the children. It is epidemic disease. Okay, so when it affects who are all escape from the former epidemics, just note that one. For whom they are affected means who are all escaped from the former epidemics. Okay, because formerly the epidemic also prevailed, and at the time some of the persons are not affected. So who are all not affected, this time affected. So it clearly indirectly indicates that who are all affected last time, they are not affected this time. It is also because you just to make the remember that it comes under the fixed miasm. It is once in a lifetime is affected commonly. Okay, so here the 1801, that condition is there, that persons who are not exposed last time, escaped last time, this time is affected. But in some situation, the similar epidemic in the place of Kungslater. Okay, what Hahnemann did know, when that epidemic, that is smooth scarlet now, was start to spread, Hahnemann just prescribed belladonna, a small dose of the belladonna for all the children. Okay, so now who are all took belladonna at the time, the children who are all took belladonna at the time, they are not unaffected by this highly infectious infantile disease. So here the two comparison is there. One time epidemic disease is there, it is a prevailed. Okay, there is a scarlet of Sydenham. So at the time the disease affects who are all not affected the previous epidemic. Okay, but here in one place Kungslater, Hahnemann prescribed the belladonna for as a preventive. Who are all the child took belladonna at the time is not affected by the disease condition. Okay, so by the experience it shows the medicinal power is superior than the natural disease, that the living human organism is much more disposed and has a greater liability to be acted on and to have its health deranged by the medicinal powers. Okay, then by morphic noxious agents and infectious miasms. So medicines are affected all the individuals. Then by the morphic noxious agents and infectious miasm. Okay, so last 31 we just see the morphic noxious agents and infectious miasm. What is the infectious miasms? They are smallpox, chickenpox, measles. According to Hahnemann, these are the infectious or contagious miasms. Okay, so the medicine power is superior than this one. Or in other words, that the morphic noxious agents possess a power of morbidly deranging men's health that is subordinate and conditional. What is subordinate? It is an assistant subject to the authority or control to another. Okay, so subordinate means it is assistant. Yes, susceptibility must be there to affect the person. So the disease is a subordinate and conditionalist, but often very conditional. Whilst medicinal agents have an absolute unconditional power greatly superior to the former. Yeah, the medicinal power is the unconditionally, so greatly superior to the power. So it is a common thing that differentiates between the medicinal power and the natural disease power. Short notes. So when you see the natural disease power, it acts conditionally. It is subordinate. Only susceptibility must be needed. But here, medicinal power, it acts unconditionally, all times, all circumstances. Okay? Don't forget that one. Always it is superior than the natural disease. That is the 33 aphorism. Okay? Clear?
அகிலம் போற்றும் பாரதம் இது இணையில்லாமா காவியம் தர்ம அதர்ம வழியினிலே நன்மை தீமைக்கு இடையினிலே விளையும் போரினில் சத்தியம் வென்றிடுமா.